get some action.
Nice.
Hey, what's going on? This is Sheets, and I have Bobby Fi and Brandon Cruz just coming in as well, and we're going to be talking about all three sports that are live tonight. That being the NHL, the NBA, and the NFL. So again, as far as timing goes, the NHL starts first at 7, and then we can we have plenty of time to talk about both NBA and football. And I've already pre-done at least my projections for hockey, and I'm just going to show what they are, and then I'm just going to show the process. Which, by the way, all I'm doing in life is printing money in hockey. I mean, it's like
crazy,
amazing.
Man.
Did you see I won another one yesterday?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. It's so sick.
Yeah, I was talking about Jordan from SaberSim the other day, and I sent the screenshot to him. He said, "You got to be effing kidding me," So, I'm it's very, very transparent. I have a couple of little tweaks that I make in my projections that are my own. And once I have that done, I literally just do a couple of things. I upload into SaberSim. I use the stock contest fields, and then I do what I call the Adam Perry, and I just request nothing but six man, 5-2s, and 4-3 stacks pre-build, and that's like that's a big thing that I changed in like 6 months ago, because one of the questions you have that I always had was, if you're going to make demands of a build, do you make the demands pre-flop, or do you make the demands after you've done your initial build? And I went to the dark side like 6 months ago, and decided that I was going to do what Adam does and actually, make those requirements pre-built. And listen, hockey is very variant or whatever it is, but hashtag whatever works, So, and then I just been, then I have to make sure to check for my goalies. And just to be completely transparent, I have not late swapped in hockey. And I should. I can't imagine why.
You're not on any of these slates?
None. And I can't imagine that being the right way to play. But I'm just letting you know what I've done. You know what I mean? I don't know what, I can't imagine that being optimal, but that's what's been working. So, and like I say, there are two big mistakes that people can make in business lifetime. One is taking a bad idea and keep doing it. And people do that all the time. And the other thing that people do, second biggest mistake, is taking a good idea and stop doing it. Okay. So I am going to do something that's been working and continue to do it. Now, again, that flies in the face of one of the great examples where that doesn't apply. And that was when Tiger Woods won the U.S. Open by like 20 strokes back in the day. He decided after that to scrap his entire swing. Because it wasn't built to last. So, I mean, that's why he's Tiger and I'm Sheets. You know what I mean? That's the big difference. But listen, with NBA being what it is, I mean, I better keep winning these hockeys. But in fairness, I mean, NBA have done much better in the last couple of days. I could say it's because everybody's kind of playing playoff basketball. I kind of have it all in front of me, and I know who's going to play in different types of scenarios and things like that. And I, like you, Bobby, I actually had a decent run yesterday in the lottery as well. I had the Champagne. He was doing very nicely. I had everybody doing really, really well. And just, I just didn't have everybody at the end, whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to doing the NBA and the NFL. They all start around the same time today. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show my projections here, and then I'm going to just start building hockey. And when I start building it, I mean, it's not going to take me long. You guys can start talking about the NBA if you want. So
okay, I'm happy to do that whenever you.
No, go for it. I mean, you just see my stuff here.
Yeah, let's go. So yeah, I finished fourth I played one lineup in the big one last night, and I finished fourth. I was really happy with my ideas. Still couldn't get there on the max entry scale. I really went out of my way to play nothing from the first game, except for I really played a massive blowout angle, which is exactly what happened. My only players in my whatever from there were Jordan Goodwin, who was fine, and Jalen with a Y Williams, the backup center for OKC. So I was cruising. I knew I was going to do well, because I had 6 spots left, and basically nobody in the first game was doing anything. And a little tilted with my Lakers. Lakers did not. I mean, as usual, LeBron showed that he's the worst defensive player in the NBA, and it's still very effective offensively, but just completely garbage on defense. It would have been nice if the Lakers hung in for one more minute, because I would have. I think I would have either shipped, or I would have come in second at least for 20K versus 7,500. So little frustrated.
Did you have that? Did you have that 1% own guy from the first game that had a big score?
AJ Mitchell?
No.
The only guys who had a big score were Chet Holmgren. The only ones who actually had like better than 5x, I think, were Holmgren and no, I did not have that guy. I know.
Yeah.
No. I had him in some lineups. I did not have him in my big buy.
No, because I know why it was. I wasn't sweating you, because it was me. It was on FanDuel actually that I was threatening to get the win, and unfortunately, like I said, that you needed this other dude at 1%, and I'll tell you who it is in a second.
Yeah, I always get his name wrong.
His name is Castle. Well, first of all, Brendan Carlson was in the winning lineup here. What the hell?
All the like.
Marcus Smart. That's right. Marcus Smart got there. The Bouye.
Bouye, yeah.
1.3% on FanDuel at 29 fantasy points at 3,800. That was
it's crazy. And I mean, again, he got there like because they were up by 60 in the third. And with OKC, you really can do that. Like on a 2-game slate, I thought it was like, I think it's really sharp to try to get exposure. I didn't have it in my big buy-in, but I had it everywhere else, and I really, really liked the idea that okay, this is a slate where I got it. When you get it right, I like to actually make money. So it was nice to actually get it right and make some money, even though it could have been more. But on to tonight.
Wait, one more thing, and I'll tell you. I don't know what again. Were the Lakers bad? Were the Spurs good? All I will say is I watched that game because I was like, obviously, was sweating it.
Lakers' defense was terrible.
Yeah, I guess, but I mean, the Spurs without freaking Wemby. I mean, they got some good players over there.
They're loaded, and they're a real. They're no joke. They're one of the 3 teams I think that could beat OKC by the end of the year.
I mean, I almost went and bet them while I was watching the game, and I'm like. Yeah. Like this Castle's the freaking truth. You know,
Castle's no joke. Dylan Harper is awesome.
Yeah, he's insane.
He's 20 years old.
And these other guys just got to do their thing. You know, Champagne did his job. You know what I mean? Like and Keldon Johnson and then all of it really.
Yeah, Fox, Cornette's one of the better backups around. It's a really
Fox I barely even know exists.
Well, but he had a good game too last night. Yeah, he was killing them too at the end of the game. The thing is, they just have so many of these guys, and it's just they're really low. They were 8-3 without Wemby, with the best offensive rating in the NBA. With Wemby, they have the best defensive rating in the NBA by a lot. But anyway, on to tonight. Really, we're waiting on Robert. We're not waiting on that much stuff, and this is before the first set of games. Robert Williams is the biggest piece. He's questionable. I assume he's going to play as of right now, but we'll get news on that. Other than that, the Jordan Poole, I guess that's somewhat relevant just because we don't have that many players, but we don't know if he'll be back tonight. AJ Green is definitely somewhat relevant because it could open up some more stuff for an already depleted Milwaukee team. So those are the main pieces, but it's really not like the crazy waiting for everything. And we've got all, 3 out of the 4 games starting at once. And then you've got the big game at the end where I'll go back to what I said, before against former teams. I know this is at home, but with the guys they're missing, you're going to have a hard time finding lineups of mine without Westbrook in it. And I'll tell you what, if you don't have Westbrook, you're going to have DeRozan. You'll probably have both. You'll also have a ton of Malik Monk. Nick Clifford, Keon Ellis. I'm going to be pretty heavy on the Sacramento side just because they're missing, again, with no Sabonis, no Levine, no Schroeder. Well, Schroeder's still doubtful officially. So these Sacramento guys might even be better plays. The problem that happens is if a guy goes from doubtful to like if they bump up Schroeder after the first set of games, then these other plays are not so exciting. However, they're still, I think, pretty strong. And I think you kind of have to just go with it. But no real crazy value. Robert Williams is the biggest one. He's going to be owned a ton. I don't think you should fade him with the lack of value we have out there. if you wanted to. I don't really know what you're thinking. So I guess just going like right now, my core set of guys is Robert Williams, Westbrook. I'd like to get less of DeRozan than I have, but I'm going to end up with some Malik Monk, Jeremy Grant, Kevin Porter Jr. I'm getting to a lot of Jamal Murray right now, and I'm not sure that I really want to stay with that. I think I'd like to try to get to Jokic, but not sure I'm going to be able to. But yeah, it's interesting with all these other earlier games, you really aren't going to know where you're at least for me, because I've got so many guys. The majority of my guys are in that 10 o'clock Eastern game.
Brandon, you play in the NBA tonight? What are you up to here?
I'm not. I played it yesterday, but I'm not playing today for whatever reason.
When do we get LOL slates that we could sweat it again?
I have no clue.
They've been playing this Korean tournament, but in a weird kind of a really weird broadcasting switch. So usually everybody when you get to play LOL, it's usually streamed like for free on like Twitch on like a bunch of different channels. But just for this one tournament, for some reason, like Disney Plus like bought it, but it's not just Disney Plus. You can't even use Disney Plus from the United States. It's only Disney Plus from Korea.
Mm-hmm.
So that takes a lot of effort. You know what I mean? You want to sweat LOL for 1,000 for first,
at 2 a.m.
At 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And then you have to like VPN into freaking Korea. It's like, or I'm sure there are plenty of enterprising, people that have found a way, that you could probably hop on there or whatever. But that I think I've found my limits as far as how far I'll go to sweat these things.
I've been letting the Call of Duty slates carry me. I don't think you can do that in New York, but the last week they had one Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then same thing this weekend, and I've just been maxing those.
Now is Call of Duty like F1 that like there's an optimal that people like go like 10 times the whatever?
No, it's more like League of Legends, usually a 3-3, very similar to that, just different combinations. I
only played one. I played one Call of Duty slate, or was it? What did I play? Or was it CSGO Call of Duty?
No, those are different.
Okay, there was one that I played, and I really tried to get into it, and I actually won. I won money on it, and then I was like really sending it. I was doing prop bets also in the European market, and I could see how you can get into it. I can see how you can get into it.
Yeah, I think it's more entertaining from a watching perspective than League, because League you just wait till the end of the game or somebody does you're weighing a lot in League, whereas COD you just get right into it.
Right, like the first 12 minutes of the game.
It doesn't matter. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so I'm almost finishing these hockeys, and I'm going to show everybody what I have again, and the only thing I have to always remember to do is to check my goalies. But here it looks like all the goalies are confirmed. So looks like I'm in good shape. Like a whole bunch of these 7 o'clock games, though. I've always loved the late night hockey games. Maybe that's just because those are always where Edmonton's playing. That's right.
Is that a thing? Like it does feel like it seems like that's always like what the people are saying in the hockey thing, but I don't pay much attention, so I don't know.
No, I mean it's kind of an illusion. But the good thing about hockey's sort of like baseball in that the slate's never over. You know what I mean? Because it's not like basketball. You know what I mean? Where there's the clock can run out on you. Like hockey, you could always score more goals.
Yeah.
Then you got overtime and empty nets, which are always fun to sweat and anti-sweat.
Yeah, I'm assuming overtime is still sudden death, though, right?
It is, and you don't and you do get points for goals in overtime. You don't get they haven't gone full rogue yet. Like once they get after overtime, they go to a shootout, and once you go to a shootout, all scoring is stopped. I mean, except for the goalies win.
The goalies win, but they don't count any of the things.
Yeah, that's a little bit that's a little hard.
That would be impossible, like because you just would hope for any game that does that, you have no chance.
Ooh, Pat Bryant is out.
Is that in hockey?
I don't know. Isn't he a football player?
Pat Bryant.
Oh no, he's on the Broncos, right? Is it somebody else? Okay, no,
I don't know. I
Must
don't
be
know
a different Pat Bryant.
Yeah, I don't know who he is.
We're gonna see who he is in a second.
Yeah.
We're gonna see.
One thing I do want to give a shout out to the Houston Rockets for doing their thing, and literally they released their lineup like 45 minutes ago, and we won't get it from the other guys until like 5 minutes before lock. This
That's
team
amazing,
is the only team that does it. It's crazy.
Yeah, I do not have any Pat Bryant. Okay, so that's good in hockey at least.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to show everybody what I have, I mean, just for the hell of it, I mean, everybody saw my process literally doing it. I ended up with, oh, I love this. Well, the reason why I'm pretty spread out today is I'm playing 150 of that mini max thing, which I always play. Mm-hmm. So I'm really spread out all over the place. And so like last night, for example, in the big GPP that I won, my lowest owned stack was in the winner. It's like so. That's so it's not just getting the right at the top of the it's how you spread everything out, so so I don't know what people want to make out of this. I have some of everybody, and I'm trusting my combination of my projections plus my 6-5-2-4-3 thing plus these contest sims plus the portfolio diversification to giving me what I need. So that is my hockey. Now I've heard you guys talk about the NBA, and this is literally going to be the first time that I'm looking at it. I ran the projections, and I heard you talk about this late night hammer game. Okay, so there it is. So 3 games start at 8 o'clock, and then the Denver San Antonio game with the 240 point total starts at 10. So yeah, that's I imagine is got to be the shit. You know what I mean? Like that's
and Robert Williams, just as you're talking, just got ruled out, which is gonna sort of throw things up. I don't know what they're gonna do. We're going to need a starting lineup from Portland before because I don't know who they're going to start. I really don't. This is an unusual situation. I guess Duop Reith would be the logical one. Hanson Yang is also questionable, so we don't know about him either. But they don't, or do they even decide not to start a true big? So the Portland, now that the news we're waiting on is the Portland starting lineup.
Yeah, so what I think I'm going to do So I talked about this last time. Whenever there's like a change like that, I have to see when they update all the projections. Okay, because I guess first thing, as you just mentioned, we don't even know who's starting yet, right? So first thing they have to do is announce starters. I don't think anybody's gonna. I mean, people could update projections, whatever. But unless we like if they update projections and give
it's going to be Duop Reith.
And and they keep Duop Reith at 12 or whatever, and then they announce him starting. He's going to be 28. You know what I mean? Like, so.
Well, no matter what, he's going to project probably around 7x. And then once the real thing would be is what happens when he doesn't start, because everybody's going to assume that he's starting would be my guess. Because Young Hansen also officially just ruled out again. So
I mean,
so it's we'll see.
It's going to be hard not to. Well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, like,
I don't know if you can fade it because, like, whoever their big is, if they start a big.
Well, I was going to say, if I wonder if they can get away with somehow not starting him.
Yeah, so I would guess they would. Just I don't know. He played 19 minutes in the last game anyway, even with the current situation. I believe that Williams was.
I mean, does New Orleans have a big they need to worry about or no?
They're all like Derek Queen, who's a rookie who like literally, is a combo forward center, whatever you want to call him. He sort of does all that. They've got Missy on the bench. I mean, like, yeah, you could, it would be kind of unusual to not start a big, but man, I don't know. I guess I would expect them to probably start Duop Reith. And honestly, even if he doesn't start, I think I probably just end up not locking him in, but he'll be in most of my lineup.
He's gonna be a tough fade, basically. That's the
I think it's gonna be really hard to get him to play lineups without him. You're really banking on a lot without a ton of other value. The interesting thing for them also is that they don't have like an insane amount of bodies tonight for them. I mean, they've got like 8 legitimate guys on the injured list right now. I think on these small slates, it's probably good to get exposure to some of these other not incredible projecting plays like Caleb Love, Chris Murray, just because they're down to, I believe, 10 bodies. And you're just looking for anything you can find on these little.
Now you mentioned this guy, Neek Clifford. What is he all about?
He's supposed to start tonight for Sacramento. I think that the pivot, you have a very easy pivot to Keon Ellis. So I think you just play Clifford for now, and then late swap. I'll probably bump. I think Keon Ellis will play more in this game than he's being projected to, if there's no, which there's not supposed to be any short air. And it's tough with a guy like Monk being chalk. I just want to throw that out. Like he literally, like the last game, he played 9 minutes in the first half. He missed 5 threes, and they literally just benched him the second half. But you go back 2 games, and he put up 42, and the game before that he put up 45. He's a wildly all over the place. Now they have less bodies than they did then, but I don't know that they have to play Malik Monk so much. There's also a lot of rumors about trading Keon Ellis, and I think that getting him back on the court would probably benefit them because people do like him around the league, but no one's seen him play for a while, and no one really knows why. I have a logical answer that Doug Christie doesn't have an idea how to coach.
That's an answer.
That's my answer. And it's a weird team, so I don't entirely just blame him, but I just think that he's really bad. Yeah, do up Reith now over 7x as of right now. Portland in general looking a lot better as a whole, and boy, why am I not getting to more of Avdia? Avdia's numbers bumped up quite a bit too. I guess because the rebounding upside. I guess, and they're just short of bodies, so I will probably have exposure to everybody on Portland except for maybe Ryan Rupert, and I would only play him if he's not going to start, but like if they did something weird. So yeah, I mean, there's really only I don't think more than 3, 6. They're probably going to have 8 guys take up most of their minutes tonight. And it's New Orleans, who's a terrible team. So I think it makes some sense to Portland and Sacramento, I think, are the teams you're focused on. And then it becomes what to do with the rest. I'm trying to see where I'm at right now. I'm going to rerun things a little bit. I think Jokic is more gettable is one thing. Avdia is probably a lot stronger of a play than he was, just because there's a rebounding upside. I'm not getting to Şengün right now. I'm not getting to as much James Harden. I'll tell you who I kind of like just from I think he's looked good is Kawhi at low ownership. That's something you could do to get different. But I'm still sort of trying to get my thoughts around this slate. And I really would, it's going to be hard to do without a Portland starting lineup, even though we can assume most logically it's got to be Reith, but I'm just not 100% on that,
Yeah.
So I really don't know what else to say, but I'm going to rebuild in a second and get a better feel sort of for where I'm at. Also, no one's going to play like Kevin Durant. I think the Clippers can be competitive here. I actually think those get the alternative spend ups are probably the way you end up winning this slate. Because you're going to have an incredible amount of chalk. Obviously, I'm playing Westbrook, who's already a spend up, but Avdia, Jaylen Brown, Jokic, I like better than I do Şengün and Harden, but it's that's what I like better. I don't like getting into as much Jamal Murray as I'm getting to, even though it's a great matchup. I just think at his price, there's other plays I think I'd rather play a cheaper Kevin Durant. Well, similar price Kevin Durant. It's pretty close. So yeah, I'm still trying to figure out this NBA slate, even though it's only 4 games.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wait for the projection for Reith, and I'm sure I'll end up having 100%. I mean,
probably pretty close. Yeah.
Can you pivot to this Jonas Valanciunas?
I mean, it's definitely the kind of play that could work because we know how great Valanciunas is per minute. He always plays double-digit minutes, no matter what. Basically, he's done that however many 20 games since the 19th of November, 12 games in a row, 14 games. I don't know what it is. And there is some blowout upside for him here. The problem is you get into what you get into last night. Sometimes the blowouts, when they happen, you sort of lose out on it because last night that AJ Mitchell was a great play who went off in the first half and they were exploding. But then AJ Mitchell barely played because it was such a blowout that they couldn't even play him.
Right. Yeah.
It's weird. But let's try to see what else.
Let's see if they've updated anything yet. Let's see.
Yeah, it's Reith. I'm just rebuilding right now.
Did they do anything yet on Saberson with the update?
Yeah, they got Reed.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay.
Yeah.
So just for fun, I am going to I'm going to this is what I do. If I am going to have time to rebuild, by the way, and I'll probably do that in like a half an hour.
Mhm.
But just to show you what I'd be getting here, what I like to do sometimes is, if I don't think I'll have time, I'll use my own projections, but then I will just change the team. Oh, so hold on, yeah, of that's been changed, rather than run like a whole thing with like my whole projections. The other thing is that I spoke with Jordan the other day. I got I spent an hour with him, like going over some stuff, and one of the things I asked for, hopefully they'll give me this, is how if I want to reset the projections back to the Saber Sims, for example,
Yeah.
I could do that for an individual player, and I could do it for like the whole slate, but I want to be able to do it for like just one team.
Right.
And so he says that he'll put that to the authorities.
Well, that'd be great, because I run into that every single day. I just go through and do it by hand. But that would be helpful for NBA, especially.
Yeah, I mean, it saves you 30 seconds. You know what I mean? Like that, everything matters.
Yeah, no, and the NBA, I mean, tonight will be okay probably, but like most nights, it's it can be a shit show sometimes.
Yeah. So Avdia, we like Avdia at all?
Yeah, I do. I just rebuilt, and I wasn't getting much of him. Now I'm getting 60%.
Who's going to be the guy besides? Cool, I'm looking at this, and just like you said, there aren't that many players on Portland, it looks like. But let's just see. They got 10, right?
Yeah, but the guys like
Javante Cook and like Ryan Rupert, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how much those guys are going to.
Yeah, so you got 8 guys, pretty much.
8 that they did that actually normally play. I think they're still a little light on the projections. Just gut. Like I'm not light on the projection, but light on the minutes, because I just feel like I don't know, they're just counting on those guys like at middling out at like 0 minutes, and I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the case. I mean, they're bad, but they have. I mean, they're bad partially because they've got literally like a full-on playoff team on the bench. Portland. Listen to their bench. They've got Thibault, Robert Williams, Scoot Henderson, Damian Lillard, Donovan Clingan, Hanson Yang, Blake Wesley, and Drew Holiday. Like that's a lot of guys.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay.
So they just ran another.
Everybody else is in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they dropped Reed down a tiny bit. I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens if they do, because we've seen this happen before. Teams will just do something weird sometimes, but I have a feeling it's going to just end up being Reed. That's the most likely thing. And it's just hard to speculate on what else. So as of right now, the guys I'm getting, I have 99% Reed. So all but one lineup. I don't love. Look, he's fine. Something about it. I've never been the biggest DFS Jeremy Grant player.
Yeah, I've had a lot better luck with him than you have.
He's been really good though lately, in all fairness, and his projection actually might be light, and I'm still getting to like 80% of them.
Really? Okay, I'll see what I'm getting here.
I bet you're going to be pretty close to that.
You think so? Let's see.
Well, you probably. I don't know. Have you updated your projections yet?
No, I'm using Saber Sims update.
Okay, yeah, you're going to end up with it. I think. Yeah, right now I've got it. My ownership is like Reith, Grant, Shaden Sharp. It's basically all Portland and Sacramento. DeRozan, Westbrook, Avdia. I haven't really changed as much of anything yet. I will tweak some things once we get starting lineups, but I haven't done much yet. Kada, Porter, Monk. I'm going to play some of the Monk. I just don't know exactly where I'm going to end up on that one. And yeah, less Jamal Murray now. The one that's the one weird one that's late again. It doesn't really matter because same position and they cost the same. But this Neek, oh no, they actually don't. They're playing this. They play the same position, but this Neek Clifford versus Keon Ellis, and it is kind of relevant more than you think because it actually they both cross over at forward, but not power forward and then guard. So you could run into an issue a little bit because I have a feeling Keon Ellis is no worse of a play than Neek Clifford. I don't know why they hate him over there, but that's what it is. Jordan Poole officially available, which makes the New Orleans side not very appealing for me. One thing you could do that if you wanted to get different is this kid Derek Queen has definitely he can hit his ceiling, and they don't really have anybody to match up with him. I think that's kind of interesting.
So you'll see by the exposures I would get right now would be 98% Reith, and then actually I have Sharp next. Then Westbrook, like you said, Westbrook and DeRozan, both of them, and then what is this? Jamal Agnew is out. Okay.
Yeah, for football.
Okay, yeah, these are like the inactives. I mean, you gotta stay on top of this.
Yeah, I'm right here. It's just there's nothing that I think that's all you're gonna have. Kyle Pitts is in, Jalen McMillan is available, and Kate Otton's not, which we know.
What do you think about Jade McMillan tonight?
I don't know how he's gonna get on the field.
You don't think?
Let me grab my numbers here.
You sure that Evans is going to be a full go?
I mean, it's not like Jalen McMillan factors into that either. He's I think he's their 6th wide receiver.
Okay.
Let me just see where I don't even know that is he even. So he's available, but like that doesn't mean he's dressing.
Doesn't mean he's going to play, right? I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, like I mean, I think that I guess he could get on. I guess he could get on the field. I just don't know. I mean, he's not like he's not cheap, right?
No, he's not.
Yeah, I don't think you can play him.
Okay.
He's going to have. Let's see. He's projected to have 4% ownership. I'll be surprised if he's that high owned. He does have a 2.8 projection on SaberSim.
What's his price?
3,800.
Oh Jesus.
Okay. And I'm not sure if you're Blair. I don't even think this would hit the news cycle if Blair was out. If the guy you mentioned earlier,
he's in. He was elevated. He'll be playing.
Is he?
Yeah.
That's why I mentioned it. He was announced that he was brought up.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of him tonight.
What?
I actually
why?
Based on so this is how I'm focusing very heavily on.
I mean, he's gonna he's projected to have a quarter of a fantasy point.
Dude, he's gonna get a freaking touchdown. You all know.
I think he's gonna be used.
Why?
I just think so. I have nothing to back it up. From a build perspective, I think this is
you have a starting tight end.
I think this is a slate where you embrace. If I was building a lot of lines, I would have every lineup on the slate have somebody at or $1,000 on salary, and I would just embrace taking the 0 because you can get Robinson, Mayfield, Bucky, a quarterback, or you can add Cousins that or whoever else you want. And you can either use that Payne Durham guy from Tampa Bay that's going to be incredibly high owned at that salary. There's several $200 guys that potentially could be used to fill a salary. I think this is a slate to where you play a $600 or $200 guy and just embrace the 0. And I think you cash pretty good. If they score you anything, I think you're very much competing to be optimal today. I also like Kyle Pitts today. But I just think it's really easy to get 5 let me sort these guys.
I couldn't disagree more. So I love hearing this because I love disagree. I love when the disagreements come.
Let me finish mine and then I'll let you go. So I'm just sorting by SaberSim, and if you sort by any projection site, it's your order might vary, but SaberSim has Robinson, Mayfield, Bucky Irving, Kyle Pitts, Mbuka, Kirk Cousins, Mike Evans as your highest guys. You can build lineups today that carry 5 of those top 7 people in a lineup. And you don't even need Blair to finish that out. You can do it with the $600 guy, whatever. Anytime that I can usually, and especially with granted, these are medium ownerships, but Robinson is at 21 projections or projection of 21. Mayfield's at 17. Bucky's at 14, whatever. But there's a huge drop off between your top 5, 6 guys on the slate and the rest of the field, where everybody else is projected for 8 or 7 points. In games where the top tier is that isolated and that higher than everybody else, I usually just try and jam away, or I usually find a way to jam all those guys into a lineup. And that's tonight is either using, Cousins and Buka, Pitts, captains, and then you can fit in literally the rest of the top of the salary there. And then I just like Blair because nobody else is going to play him. They don't have Drake. Obviously, that should elevate.
I think they have now. Now they have Blair. I think they only have, I think, 9 active wide receivers now for this game.
Yeah, they've got. I mean, he's like the wide receiver 8.
No, what I mean, in all seriousness, what he's probably going to be brought in for is maybe some special teams work or something.
Yeah, that's what I totally agree.
But to Brandon's point, I mean, lineup construction, we've seen this a zillion times. Like when the line, and I haven't run these yet, but like it could be one of those days where there are like a certain bunch of guys you really need to get. And the only way to get them is to have a $200 guy or something like that.
But that's that couldn't be further from the case.
Oh yeah, I haven't looked yet. I don't know. Maybe it's not the case.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to figure out is that one Payne Durham is a starting tight end for a quarterback that likes to throw the ball to the tight end.
And Chris Blair, but he's got a big future ahead of him. He's only 28 years old.
But like Devin Culp, who's the other tight end, right? Like he's the much better. I mean, look, that's an actual guy that actually might get on the field. And why wouldn't you just use him at 1% ownership or less?
Because I think that those. So I'm going to play Blair tonight specifically to try and counteract those lineups. I think
there's no Devin Culp lineups. Nobody's playing Devin Culp.
That's true.
I mean, if nobody is, I think he's a fantastic play. What I was running earlier, I saw a lot of Durham and Culp lineups in my stuff.
Yeah, I don't know what I feel like.
Come on, Bobby, you gotta have a little vision here. You know what I mean? We're trying to win.
I'm used to being the vision guy, and this I just can't get. I can't.
We're trying to win 300,000 here. You know what I mean? And
I get the idea of like I just can't. I just have. I guess I'll just say my. I don't.
So you got to see. That's the thing. We need you, Bob. We need to be the voice of reason.
Well, I'm not usually the voice of reason, so I get.
I'm also okay for everybody else. I'm also coming off of playing Tyrod Taylor on Sunday, where he scored me negative points. That was.
Well, I played Geno Smith, who played like 2 quarters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I forced in Geno Smith.
I would say that. Okay, so look, maybe because they're calling him up from a practice squad, you can elevate him a little bit. But officially, of the guys under 1,000, he's definitely the least interesting to me, along with this Felipe Franks.
Felipe Franks, he's been called up.
I like the idea of getting.
I didn't know that. I got to redo my whole projection set
of something from Atlanta, and look, maybe they say, hey, okay, we go ahead and we are going to play this guy, but like. I haven't seen anything that symbolized that, and we've got actual guys, and I don't think you just need to spend anywhere near the money tonight. Like I think you could literally leave 6,000 on the table and you'll be fine. We need to play Kirk Cousins so bad.
I guess we don't, huh? Maybe we do.
So the because I'm running run lineup, and my 1v1 is basically Kirk Cousins and $200 whatever guy. Or using that $9,000 to get 2 other people in, and that's what I keep rerunning stuff for.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's fair. For what it's worth, wow, I'm trying to figure out what to do because I don't love the Kyle Pitts chalk. I don't like the Bijan Robinson chalk. I don't like the Baker Mayfield chalk. I don't like the Mike Evans chalk, or whatever he ends up being owned at. I kind of like the Bucky Irving chalk. I guess that's my favorite.
So what about the Rachaad White at like a third of the price?
Love Rachaad White that's. But again, you could play both of those guys. These double running backs are the nuts. It's a Thursday game. It's an important game, obviously.
AJ Green is out.
AJ Green is out, so we'll go back to that basketball. I didn't see that yet, but yeah, I guess we'll wait till that. Oh, there it is. Yeah, the way I'm gonna rebuild. I haven't finished my builds yet because I'm trying to figure out it because it feels like so much nonsense on this kind of a slate. Also, the things Atlanta does the best, like run the ball, are even though Tampa Bay's numbers are a little misleading, but Bijan is the kind of guy where that shouldn't affect him so much because he doesn't run up the middle as much as these other guys do. boy, how did I end up with a Chris Blair lineup? That's so weird. And it's like a duplicate. I honestly don't know what's happening with my builds.
Bobby, I don't know if this is going to sway you.
Yeah, go ahead, do it.
He scored 2 touchdowns in the preseason.
Okay. I mean, the fact that the thing that makes it most appealing to me is that he's activated off the practice squad.
Yes.
Maybe they think they'll use him.
They need him. That's the thing. They need him.
Okay, we'll see. I don't entirely get it,
Listen,
but I mean, look,
he was a direct backup to Drake London and all of the A-team reps in the preseason. I'm totally making that up, by the way.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh my god, I might be missing something big time.
Totally making that up.
No, it is just you had to have such cheap Atlanta receivers against a team that you can move the ball on through the air. I think it would be beneficial to be overweight the Atlanta receivers, slightly underweight. I always like Algier on these slates. I don't when everybody plays.
He's the threat always to Bijan.
Yeah, and he can. I mean, he can get there. Like he's not like a real player, who just sometimes plays. He's like a part of what they do. So I actually don't even mind. Like, I mean, Algier's been pretty consistently productive, and he's 4K. And like honestly, I would have to be playing Chris Blair over these guys, and also like the Payne Durham. I like the idea of getting different. I think Payne Durham is going to be more popular than people think. But I would go you have Drummond, you've got Sills, and then you've got Mooney. And I think the right idea is to try to be overweight all the Atlanta actual receivers, not the guys who aren't going to play receiver. That's my take. And I would be, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. You never know with these things. If they did just call them up, maybe they're going to use them. And I think being underweight Kyle Pitts is usually a good idea. The problem is I just don't know where to spend. I don't like any of these plays. So maybe I'm just in a cynical mood because I don't want
to cheapos here. Let's see. We like Tez Johnson, don't we?
How is he going to play?
Why wouldn't he play?
Because you've got 4 to 5 guys ahead of him. Mike Evans, Egbuka, Godwin, Shepard, Millen, and Tez are on the same page. Shepard always gets third down looks because he's played with Baker since college.
Tampa Bay is very difficult to play or to figure out which one to play today because
all
3 of the main guys I think they project for the exact same.
It's pretty close. I'll always I actually like Godwin, and I like Evans, and I don't like Evans. I think it's worth taking the Evans Godwin shots more than I think it is. No, I actually think that I don't know, man. I probably am going to end up pretty split on these guys, and I guess Egbuka would be the one to go with. But I'm looking at it right now. I thought he was going to be lower owned than Godwin, and I was going to be all into the Godwin play, but they're looking like the ownership's going to be basically the same, which means I would probably take the upside of Egbuka. And Egbuka has the little narrative. Look, he dropped the 2 passes. He dropped them, cost them the game last week. He dropped the wide open pass in the end zone, or what would have been a touchdown. And I think that they keep looking for him. I think he's a big part of what they're going to do in the future. Or do we play the old guys? I'm struggling with it myself, to be honest with you right now. I do know that I want to max. I don't want to have more than the field of the Bijan captains. I just think that I think he's going to be like 35% owned as a captain, and I just would rather try something else. So that's like the one.
You think he'll be that popular in the captain?
I do, yeah. I just think his projection is significantly higher than everyone else. And if I just limit my exposure to around where the field is on him and Baker, I just can get some different things. But I think the guy I like the most is the Bucky as a captain, even though he's going to have some ownership for sure. And I like the Sheets I like the Rashad White as a pivot if you're not going to play the Bucky. Both these teams used 2 running. You know what? Wouldn't that be the way this goes? The 4 running back system works tonight, maybe? If you play all 4 running backs. Say F you to the quarterbacks. And the other problem is I absolutely love the defense for Tampa Bay in this game. That might be the highest scoring play on the slate.
This is going to be a weird game It's going to be really weird.
Short week in division. They always play weird games. Yeah, I think it is going to be weird.
I would not be shocked to see this slate end with like everybody scoring 13 fantasy points.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I don't know how they're all going to get to 13. That's where I'm at a little bit. Like, I think what if this is one of those slates where literally like 3 things hit double-digit fantasy points? I think it might be.
Yeah, I think that's likely too.
Yeah.
So who am I going to X out of this slate then?
I wouldn't X anybody out of Sheets in this one.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't either.
I made all this stuff and watch. If I win 300,000 with Blair in my lineup tonight, you guys can make fun of me for the rest of my life.
What about Tegan Kitoriano?
And how was that name spelled?
Who is that?
You don't know? He was like the 3rd string. No, I can't even make it up anymore.
Yeah.
It gets hard.
Daryl Hodge, I've actually heard of.
Yeah, and I would put him. Although he was announced out and then in earlier, it was
look at all these guys.
Confusing.
Okay, here's the Chris Blair take. You ready?
Yeah.
The Chris Blair take is I'm looking at 9 receivers that are active for Atlanta. Like, why activate them if they're not going to use them?
Special teams. That's 99% of the time the answer in the NFL when you're not one of the top 7. But look, they had one game they didn't look great. Maybe they want to do something a little bit different. I just think Drummond and Sills are actual players, like ish. And it keeps happening. I keep trying to cap the captain ownership of these guys, and pretty soon I'm gonna have nobody left I'm gonna end up with 100% player in the captain because I keep trying to lower it. I'm like, I don't want that much, but because there's nobody outside of Bucky, I guess, that I feel really good about, and I do feel really good about Bucky, and I feel really good about White. I'd like to be overweight on them on both the flex and the captain.
Yeah.
How not even the White lineups, but the not White Blair lineups, but like anybody under 1,000 in those lineups, are you leaving a lot on the table, or are you in those individual lineups? Like, what is your usage looking like on Saturday?
Well, I did adjust right now. I have a bunch of now. I've got the Bucks as my captain, like 20%. I was going to be
Bucks defense.
I do like the Bucks defense. Well, I'm sorry. What was the question, Brandon?
Like,
sorry.
what is your salary usage looking like?
I'm going to find out in a minute. Right now, most of it's between 43 and 47,000.
Interesting.
That much left on the table, huh?
I don't see any reason why you shouldn't. I actually expanded it. Why do I need all my salary?
Oh no, I don't know. I haven't built yet. I don't even know.
Yeah. No, I was just throwing out there that I don't think I do, and I'm going to tweak some things, but man, it is kind of weird this slate, I have to say.
Maybe Brandon's right. Everybody's got 13. Everybody gets 13 fantasy points.
Maybe that's the deal. Let's see what I'm at now. Actually, after rerunning things. All right, so I still have Bijan as my highest owned, even after capping him. Then Bucky, then Pitts. They love Jesus. Saberson really loves Pitts. I think that this is way too high of a projection, personally.
But do you ever, when you see that, do you ever look? This is going to sound insulting. I don't mean it to.
Of course, I know. I already know the answer. I don't need to look.
You don't look at the construction at those at all?
Oh, for those things, for my big buy-ins, I always look at my construction.
Yeah,
if I'm playing 150 lineups, I scroll through it if it makes sense. But why do you think you need to use it in football? You really don't. There's no reason. There's plenty of football slates where these Thursday games. There was a guy who wrote a thing about it last year where like the optimal was like less than 40K. Like I think it was four or 5 times out of 18. So you're talking about 30%. You're less than 40.
Yeah, but just because the optimal is down, that doesn't mean anybody has it.
No, nobody exactly. But I'd like to have a crack at it. You know what I mean?
I'm more so specifically just because I like the builds that Kyle gives you today. Like when I look at a Kyle Pitts lineup today, I see all the players that I would want in a lineup. I think maybe that's why I'm more comfortable with Kyle Pitts and just eating the chalk there, because I visibly like those lineups that it's giving me. Like those are very high projected lineups.
Yeah, I get it.
Just so everybody knows, I'm going to rerun the NBA now. I'm going to rerun the NBA projections. Those should be updated probably in about, just so everybody knows, probably about 15 minutes, and then I'll build that stuff live once that gets updated.
I'm looking through my current lineups just for what it's worth, Brandon, and most of them, there are some that are up to like 49.8 that actually are using a lot of the salary, but most of them are in the 46, 47, 48 range. And then there's quite a few that are in the 43,000 range. But majority of it's between 46 and 48,000, I would say, is where I'm at.
Sure.
So it's still, I mean, it's not like that much, you know.
Maybe you fill out your salary to be contrarian.
Yeah, well, but the problem is, I think I really do think that they're trying to do that. Okay, now it's come back down to a little bit more normalcy after I just ran the last one. Now we're looking at more in the 47 to 48K range. I'm almost tempted to lower it because I just have a feeling this is going to be one of those games. I actually think the kickers are probably better plays. Kickers have been on fire lately, by the way, for these showdowns. Have you noticed that? They've been going nuts. You've needed both kickers, like every slate, it feels like.
I'm debating them. I'm like, it's like, do I play Blair and Cousins, and let's say Cousins gets 14 and Blair does 0, or do I just do both kickers and hope they both hit 7, and then it's a net loss of nothing?
These guys are like, yeah. I don't know what to do.
Like that's where I'm at. That's literally what I've been rerunning stuff for. Like, do I play both kickers or Cousins and Blair tonight? Like, the kickers, like you said, the kickers have been.
Hey, I'm in the middle of recording. You need me?
No, you didn't take any packages, did you?
No. You want me to?
I think the kickers are. I'll take the over on whatever we expect the kickers to be tonight, or whatever projections have them at. I think they're probably around 8 or 9. I think I would take the over on it right now if I had to choose.
What?
And it's an interesting contrast to the kickers. I think they're going to both score more than 8 or 9 fantasy points, whatever they're projecting for. Actually, what are they projecting for? Let me see. Hold on. Come on. Yeah, they're projected at 8 and 9 roughly. I'll take the over. The weird part is that these are usually games I like to try and get after when they're in Atlanta. And also the weather is good tonight, but they're strange teams because Atlanta has been the second best pass defense in football, basically, and you can run all over them. And Tampa Bay, historically, they've got the guys who up the middle, they can stop you, but then they've given up some huge games on the outside to guys like Bijan Robinson this season. So they're not quite as stout as they used to be, but used to be like a running on the Atlanta side, wide receivers on the Tampa Bay side, and now I'm sort of all over wide receivers on the Atlanta side, running backs on the Tampa Bay side. I think that suits me pretty good, actually. I think Bucky's being a little bit under.
What about you? Are you playing FanDuel tonight? Football?
I am not.
Okay.
Are you?
No, I'm going to. I'll let you know what I do. Again, this is just so you know, for those watching the live lineup builds. The NBA is probably about 10 minutes away. My projections will be done in maybe about 5 more minutes, and then I'll upload them to the site, and then I'll come back and build that, and then football is like maybe 10 minutes behind that. So if anybody wants to stick around just to watch what I'm doing, yeah, that's my timeline here.
Somebody says Payne Durham lock. Corey said I would never lock in Payne Durham. I think that would be a terrible play. And I'm not saying he's a terrible play. I just think this game has so many routes to go. And if you lock him, are you locking him in the flex? Or are you going to captain him? If you captain him, you'll leave 5,000 on the table even if you spend the most. I think everywhere else.
Right.
Yeah, it's a weird slate. It's for sure like a weird one. Wow, this projection on Kyle Pitts I just think it's way too high. I mean, I understand everybody's gone. I like Mooney too. He's the Atlanta receiver that I'll be well overweight his exposure, and I think the projection on him is a joke. I really like Mooney actually as the captain. Maybe that's what I end up getting
Mooney
beyond. Yeah, I could tell myself certainly a story that makes enough sense with that one. All right, so I'm going
I
to read.
don't know. He's always seemed to disappoint me.
Well, that's fine. I mean, he's a wide receiver, but they don't have another wide receiver, and he actually has a history with Cousins of like a good history. Now, he didn't have a good game the other day. He had, but he's had like targets, and that game against Seattle, they just got crushed. I think I could talk myself. I think I'm gonna talk myself into Mooney. I just did it actually.
So this is actually gonna be so you can actually watch me fill all this out here. So I'll do it by projection, I guess. No, let's just do it by this. Oops. So this is crazy. Like some of these guys' projections who I'm using in my fields. I mean, like with Chris Blair, I think I'm projecting him at like 0.2 or something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. So we're gonna have to see what I end up actually doing. Because if I start forcing him in, then I mean, I guess I could do that.
But what is it about him specifically? Like, there's
nothing. I mean, just the stuff we talked about. I guess they're forcefully activating.
We put it out there in the universe. Now we have no choice.
Yeah, something like that.
Kind of have to do it.
Yeah.
Like I think Mooney actually has like the chance to be the highest scoring player in the slate, like a good portion of the time. I guess I would say that.
Well, yeah, because he's an actual player. I mean.
Yeah, and he's got huge play upside, and he's got a good history with Cousins, although it's been ugly the last since he's been back. I'm sort of settling in on this, but I really like the idea of expanding how much you leave on the table because I could see a lot of ways where you don't need everything tonight. I mean, even on Monday, really you didn't need even close to anything, right? Like you needed the kickers and you needed Saquon, and everything else was like, okay, if you got it, like it's all sort of all the same.
Yeah. So let me build my first set of showdown lineups again, just using the projections and just using the. Actually, I am going to use my own contest fields for the lottery part. So this is what we do. So let's we'll put the lineups, put the projections up in here, and I should be almost done with NBA. Why is this taking so long? And we'll put this in here, and we will save this. Just make sure that we have everything that we need. We do, and then let's you know what I forgot to do? Hold on, I forgot to use my contest field. So what you do if you want to do that, you hit automatically create custom fields from ownership. So we'll do that. Save. We got to call it something, so we'll call it Sheets 728. Plenty of time. Now it's building the field. So now what I can do is finish up the NBA, and I need to do one thing before I finish up the NBA. And as that's happening, I'll show you. Hang on. This is all pretty heavy duty multitasking over here. Hold on.
Let me ask you a question. Kevin's saying, like, why is he ultra washed? Because he was hurt all season long, and then
who's this? Who's Mooney?
And even then, like every single target went to beat to their other. I mean, he was the fourth receiver on their depth chart for part of the season.
Who's this? Who are you talking about?
About Mooney. I just don't buy that kind of stuff. Like personally, I never believe in the washed midseason thing. When you're less than a year removed from the guy putting up multiple 30 fantasy point games. I just don't buy it. And it's not like we have a lot of other guys to choose from. They got to throw the ball to somebody. We know that the Pitts thing is an adventure, to say the least.
Is that below this talking?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, don't forget he's got sort of boots previously on the ground because Mooney used to be on Chicago.
Right. But then again, when I wonder if he was one of the people though when he went over to Atlanta that was talking about how terrible that was, and then he went completely nuts for the half that year anyway. I don't know. I'm not. It doesn't matter how washed you are on a Thursday night where you don't have anybody else and it's a division rival game, and I don't know. I mean, David Sills, you could argue that. You could argue the Drummond thing to me. Devin Tompkins could. Darrell Hodge, you guys have mentioned Blair. Charlie Warner. That's another one that you could throw out there, but I don't think
that's another one that's is that guy in the mix or no?
He'll play. He'll play. I mean, I don't know what his projection is. He should play. Maybe let me just double check that before
I think I'm going to play both kickers instead.
I like that.
I'm going to do that instead.
You're going to do both kickers? You can go that route?
Because it's looking like it's going to cash at a slightly higher consistency throughout my contests. And I can't really argue with that.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
I'm going to cash with the 2 kickers and watch Charlie Blair come crush your soul.
Well, nobody will have him, so it won't matter.
Nobody will have him. It's what's going to be the big. This is going to happen. He's going to play special teams, but he's going to return a punt to like the 2-yard line.
Yeah. I want to tell below above one thing though. Like I wouldn't. It's not. I'm not arguing that Mooney can still play. I'm just saying I have no interest on this type of slate to use that information. It doesn't mean anything because we don't have that many other guys to choose from. If we were talking about on a Sunday slate and I was talking about let's play Mooney, then you could tell me that was it's terrible, he's washed. It doesn't matter for this game. This is one game and there's no. You have too much wide receivers that are technically overpriced because we don't know how it's going to work with Tampa Bay. Then you have nothing on Atlanta's side of anybody with any sort of history whatsoever outside of Mooney. So even if he's not, he's still the number one option, and that's enough for me. That's good enough for me on a single game slate. I don't disagree with they're not going to let Kadero Hodge get out there a little bit. He would be the other cheap guy I would be looking to.
Yeah, looks like you're right. Looks like I'm leaving some salary here, but not a lot. In my initial build,
the default settings, right?
I don't think I did anything with. I'm not getting any Blair. I'm not getting any Blair right now.
Yeah.
No, in my default settings, no, I got no nothing. I didn't change anything.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's partly. I mean, I lowered mine specifically because I wanted to.
Oh, well, what is it? What's the default?
45.
Oh, okay.
I didn't lower it crazy. I lowered it to 43 because I don't want to let it take too much of my things away. But
I mean, technically, I'd rather it lower to 0 because if it's going to give me something, I kind of want it.
Well, yeah, especially because you're not making hand tweaks. I think that is the right thing. I think that
right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's just make sure that what are the settings here?
So as sort of predicted, but then I got it mixed up. The Blazers are not starting Duop Reith. They're starting Murray. So we're gonna have to let the projections update before we can do anything with that.
Just as I redid them too. This is my existence.
This is what happens. You got that. Well, you get the hockey. You already can count on that money.
Yeah, no, I know. I got a nice cushion from that.
Yeah,
we know that's winning.
So you're saying McMillan, Kevin? I'm trying to understand this. Like, are we sure McMillan gets on the field? I'm not against McMillan as a play.
I'm not sure of anything. This is
Well, no, but we are sure about who the top 3 receivers are for Tampa Bay. That's not up for debate. That's part we already know.
That's fair enough.
It's Igbokwe, Godwin, and Evans. So McMillan is a little bit trickier, but I hear you, and that's interesting. Is if you do that, then you should lock in McMillan as a play because McMillan is cheaper and no one's playing him, not even in the flex. So that's a very simple. You have a very easy slate. You could just play Jalen McMillan, and you don't have to think about anything else.
So. Here, so let's go ahead and we'll build the NBA here for a second, but let me just this will be like a behind the scenes look. I'm going to actually upload this projections, and my projection for Reith is not like that big. I mean, it's 21, and my ownership projection is kind of low. So I think that. Oh, I know why it's low. Okay, no, never mind. I was going to say lower. NBA is updated into the drive. Did I do FanDuel yet? I don't even remember. I did. So let's put that up into the drive. This automatically goes up to the site, everybody. And then this, and then we'll go ahead and build something and see what we get. I still think I'll probably get the 100 of the Reith. Now, if he's not starting, though, do we need that
right now? Because they haven't changed anything.
Okay.
So I would wait if I were you.
Well, what do they have him with?
It's not going to be close. Oh, Reith will still have a projection, but Chris Murray is the other part of it that you have to factor in.
Oh, right.
I actually think it's kind of interesting. Now it's kind of fun a little bit because now we can have a tournament like maybe. Well, I don't know. He's still going to be pretty high owned, I'd imagine. Let me see if they bumped up. No, they haven't changed it.
And we got 24 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
So now again, I've talked about this before. So you have to. Unfortunately, this is the way it is. Like in the NBA DFS, you have to know how long it takes for you to do whatever it is that you need to do.
Yeah.
Depending on how many lineups you play and what kind of systems you run and what kind of optimizers you run and whatever you do. Because, now that I know that there's going to be a change in these Portland projections sometime between now and 8. And I don't know when that's going to be. And I already know that I'm not going to have the time to redo all my projections and then rebuild. So what I do is I am going to keep the projections as I have them. But then when SaberSim updates the Portland stuff, I will just update the Portland stuff. Now, there's obviously a lot of flaws in that because, if Chris Murray gets a little bit of ownership, then technically that's going to come from somebody on another team because it's a different position than the Reith ownership was coming from.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be perfect. That's the best I can say. That's the best I can say. So that's where I'm going to be a little bit leaky tonight.
All right.
We'll see.
Yeah, I'm going to probably get out of here as soon as I can update my exposures. But I would like to have a Milwaukee starting lineup before I do anything. And
it would be nice, wouldn't it?
Because we don't have Green, and they've been off and on starting him and not but I assume Kuzma will probably start, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I think he did in the last time. Oh, they can also start Trent. I actually would like to see a start. I'm just speculating a bunch over here, but I don't really know who it's going to be. And I would say that I think this Reith at 7x, I still think he's probably going to be a reasonable play. I'm not sure I'm buying the 7x as a median, but I think he's probably a pretty good play. And they did update Chris Murray a little bit, but I don't think enough. That would be my take.
They updated Chris Murray.
The Bucks. So they're starting Rollins, Porter, Trent, Kuzma, and then Turner. And your projections are just updating. Doop-a-doop.
Yeah.
But we're going to update again in a second. They dropped Reith down to 6x. Okay, it's something. Shaden Sharp shot up. You missed Kada. Why? That seems a little bit aggressive. All right, I'm just taking a look at the rest of these things. I kind of like Sheets' idea with the Valanciunas. This is the kind of slate he could win you, Sheets. This might be one I might consider doing some craziness, some wonkiness in my big buy-in with that. Because I have plenty of late swappability, but I kind of think that's pretty sharp. I think that the Valanciunas is something that could happen.
Okay, so let's save this. I would be getting at this point still 90% Reith, but again, that hasn't updated yet, and no Chris Murray update. So again, this is just pure nonsense, actually.
All right. Let's see what happens here.
And so, as a matter of fact, I mean, with given what I said about everybody's managing their own time properly, if anybody's actually watching like me build my lineups right now, then they're probably neglecting their own.
Well, I don't think you want to do anything yet.
Right.
I don't think the projections are updated accurate. I think that I like Shaden Sharp tonight. I think this is ridiculous that he's got a 42-point projection on SaberSim. As a median, I'm not saying that he's not going to get 42, but I'm just saying that as the median, that's a very, very, very high number. I love him as a play, but you really shouldn't be. I don't know. I don't think he should ever be above 40, and as long as the other guards are available. So I'll lower that one manually, but I'm going to wait to see if they do anything first. I did upgrade Valanciunas to closer to where Sheets' projections are, much better than SaberSim. I downgraded Kata's projection by almost a full point, just because it seemed a little bit high to me. I'm still going to get some of it, but I don't think I need, what was I getting, 60%? That didn't make a lot of sense to me. Abdia is going to be a hard one to fade, but they did lower that one a little bit. I would say you want to wait about 5 more minutes before running your last set. That would be my take.
Yeah.
And I've still got to build my hand build after that. So I'm probably going to bounce Sheets. Is that you good?
I'm bouncing too.
Okay. Good luck.
All right.